Good morning. Welcome in. Good morning and welcome in. I'm Coach Ken, a wellness preacher, and this is Coach Ken in the AM. I'm currently reading one of my devotionals for the season of Lent, and things to think about. So hope you're doing good. Let me know where you guys are coming in from this morning. Unless you just want to look at a bald guy sitting here talking. Good morning, folks, coming in. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm Coach Ken. This is in the AM, and I do nutrition coaching, wholeness, really whole health and life. And we come in and talk about that. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're coming in from today. Don't know if my comments are working. Give me a Heidi-do. Let's see. Making sure that everything's working. I'm going to give myself a hey, because it looks like things may have gotten turned off. How are you guys? Welcome in. Let's see if we've got something coming up. There we go. I'm here. It's working. So you guys, if your fingers are broken, I'm really sorry. But if they're not, type in a hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. I am Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. I'll get started here a little bit more specific in a moment. If you guys want to hang loose, if you want me to go ahead and jump in, here's what I'm going to tell you. Talk to the hand. I'm going to talk to the hand. Here's the 5 questions that we want to ask, and we're going to talk about today. How are you eating? How are you exercising? What are your extras? Who are you encouraging? And how are you elevating? And for me right now, I'm spending a little bit of time elevating just a little bit. Wow. Today, as I'm reading, I don't know what your faith tradition is, but this is a period of Lent for Christians, and this is a time of reflection. And one of those things, man, people leave as soon as I start talking. You just want to look at a bald guy? That's weird. All right. Judas betrayed Jesus for a very small bag of money. I don't think people realize that, and they kind of miss that. And there was an argument about the lady that anointed him with oil and about how expensive that oil was that she used. Here's the thing. It's the small things. And this is just a great thing. I can't turn the whole world around in one day. In the wide picture, good works that seem so small can have far-reaching effects. I can't turn the world around in my lifetime, but I can do some good works today for the people that I meet. I say that every day. Go get the day, make it golden. Go be excellent to one another. And this is my hope to be excellent to you. I am Coach Ken, the Wellness Preacher, and I want to challenge you with 5 things to ask about today. Maybe you are like me or many others, and you are dealing with one or more of the issues that are on this screen. Now, every one of us is a little bit different. Maybe different things. You may not have all of these, and I didn't have all these. I can't have PCOS. That would be a polycystic ovary syndrome. I can't have PCOS, right? But I can have low testosterone. I could have erectile dysfunction. Those are some of the main things contributing to men not being able to procreate. And PCOS is the number one reason why women cannot have kids today. And they relate to one thing called insulin resistance. Hey, Lee, how are you? Where are you coming in from this morning? And here I talk about 5 simple things, right? Both here and on my TikTok that are really simple about changing around your metabolic health. How are you eating? How are you exercising? What are your extras? Those are your supplements. How are you getting vitamins and minerals in your diet? Who are you encouraging and how are you elevating? So, hey, welcome in. Let me know where you're coming in from. I am Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. You may not be aware that 93% of people in the world are metabolically unhealthy. Now, that's really a crazy thing to think about, right? It's one of those things that we don't hear nearly enough about, and I want to make sure that you kind of see this so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So, 93% of us are metabolically unhealthy. So that means if you're driving down the road today and you pass a car, or you're commuting maybe, you pass 10 cars, that means 9 out of 10 of the vehicles you pass, people are sick. They are sick with signs of insulin resistance. Metabolism has everything to do with how your body is going to process the foods that we eat and drink. So that when I put up the hand, I'm talking about how are we eating, all right? And very simply, to change this in your life, all right? Sylvia, good morning. Good to see you this morning. If you're going to change and get your health back, if you're going to stay on track, those of y'all that are my younger audience, stay on track, then what we talk about in here is keeping these things focused, because it doesn't matter. 1 in 3 teenagers today are now being diagnosed with prediabetes. Now, if it's like anything that we know, that means that most people don't even know they have insulin resistance. Insulin resistance being the early part of this. So once we realize that, now we're in a whole different category of trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And when we have these simple things, we're sick. And it doesn't feel good. I do need more chatters, but that's part of growing a channel. There's no way, well, I guess I'm just not that gregarious or whatever, and I'm not so controversial for some folks to get on here and talk. That's okay. Sylvia and I appreciate you being here, right? It's growing a channel. It's telling people about it, and I need to get better at what I do, right? And the only way that I'm going to do that is to keep going live, right? So I'm glad that some of y'all feel like, hey, we need to get on here and talk. Well, I appreciate that. And we got to find particularly, like I said, my generation, I got to get them on here because we've got to get everybody healthy. I mean, that really is what we do. Now, this is me at Life at 50, and these are my lessons right here. So I'm trying to share, all right? Eating in that particular order, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We want to focus on meal order to control that blood sugar, because as long as we are increasing insulin, and I think this is the piece that people don't get, when insulin is so high, that's what's leading to the inflammation, because the insulin cannot put all of that sugar, all that glucose into the cells. When it cannot do that, it's going to dump it into the bloodstream. It's going to dump it into the bloodstream. And so that is, I know that's like, ooh, we're getting into the science, but I like to keep it as simple as possible, right? So it is the key that unlocks the cells so that they have energy. Now, like I said, this is biology, right? This is biology 101, if you will. And that is a huge part of it. So, we can get into that, but I find most people just knowing that if we have fiber changes the profile of our food. fiber changes the profile of our food. So in our modern food environment, all right, let's kind of take a look at this. So in that modern food environment that we live in, fiber has been removed from our food. And so realizing that is a big part of this, right? That when we eat real food, we've got fiber. That apple is covered in fiber. I was eating apples yesterday. I got a bag of apples, right? I always eat it with the peel. That's the fiber. Hey, Harvington, good to see you this morning, right? That's the fiber. Fiber is the carbohydrate that helps you control blood sugar levels, all right? And it doesn't matter how fast you're eating. Let me show you just a couple of things, all right? I know I've said this before. Let's see if I can get my tablet to show up here. Sometimes it will cooperate, sometimes it won't. So when you do the research, what you're going to find when I'm talking about meal order, this is from the CDC. Hey, Sanji, how are you? So fiber is the carb that helps you to manage diabetes. All right. Now think about this. We're thinking simply about blood sugar. I'm doing well today. I'm doing well, Harvey. How are things with you over in the UK? So what we're looking at is something very, very simple. That fiber is a key part of our health overall, right? So this is from the Ohio State, that when we eat veggies and protein first, carbs last. That's what I'm talking about with meal sequencing. And here's the crazy part about it. We were always taught to not eat food fast, right? You're doing good. So this is one study that eating vegetables first, regardless of how fast you eat, has a significant reducing effect on postprandial blood glucose levels. So, and Sanji, you're doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So getting those veggies in is making sure that we're getting fiber in our diet. That is so critically important. So we want to make sure in our modern food environment that has stripped fiber out of it. That's a huge. What's up, Vox Tech? Good morning. Good morning. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. Good to see you guys this morning. So I want you to think about your breakfast this morning. Think about that. Now, for me, I'm having my breakfast right here in the form of water. All right, that's how I'm starting my day. Most days I have Unimate. This is my drink of choice, and I have a little bit left over from yesterday. But we all come on. I know, and I'm glad. We got to get more people in here. And the more you guys talk, the more you share, the more you like, the more you heart, it lets the algorithm know. So I appreciate that. And I always forget to tell people to do that, right? That's always like a big thing. But, you know, this is a huge part. I just did a live today. Husk the Grumpy Cat, good morning. Welcome in. I just did a live earlier today because I'm always learning, right? That's important, about gut health and mental health. And when we are eating correctly, particularly that fiber, it's understanding that most of our hormones that affect our brain are formed in the gut. All right, they're down here in the gut. So getting fiber feeds the gut microbiome. That is key. That is what the microbiome is looking for. My day is going well. I'm going to leave it at that. It's not an easy day. Those of y'all that were following, we did receive an offer on our house, and we accepted that offer. So we will now enter the process of our period of due diligence. Oh, and we will continue working on packing our house. And so in a few months, my lives will look very different in a very different place. I will be trying to get on. My lives might be limited in time. Snow Dovebird, yes, I remember you. You jumped on my live yesterday when I was recording. I find that I like to go live to record. It helps me to do that. And yeah, you kind of threw me off there for a second. Yes, right? Yeah, kind of threw me off for a little bit. So yeah, those are kind of the lives that I got to remember to turn off comments so they don't distract me so much. Not that I don't mind you guys stopping in. It just is it's hard. But yeah, I took that one and I edited it to a new video. So, and I appreciate that. Thank you for saying hi. Because it gets a little, these are the ones I really want to have people say hi on. And let's have some conversation. So change that meal order. So, and like I said, it doesn't make a difference. And I know, particularly those of y'all that are part of my younger audience, it may not feel like, oh my gosh, that I'm so young, I don't have any problems. The fact of the matter is, I don't want you to have problems in the future. I didn't want to have problems either. But the reality of that was, I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old with child's rheumatoid arthritis, and that's the thing, I had no idea what that was. I knew my joints hurt. Cookie lover. Oh, what kind of cookie is your favorite cookie, cookie lover? You got to tell me. Mine is, my mom makes a oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. That is my all-time favorite cookie. There's nothing like it in the world as far as that goes, as far as I'm concerned, right? That is the best cookie in the world. So what is yours? That's a great one. So what is everybody's favorite cookie? And here's the thing, as a nutrition coach, I'm not going to tell you can't have a chocolate chip cookie. You love chocolate chip cookies. You would love my mama's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. I'm glad that you subscribed. So this is important. So here's the thing, as a nutrition coach, I eat cookies. I know this is where it's like, I get into debates all the time. You shouldn't have carbs, right? And it's like going, just stop. I want you to enjoy life, right? That's the important part of this. So what we want to do is we have cookies as dessert. We always cover our carbs in fiber. Now, what I simply mean by that is we have those cookies where they go, right? And Harvey, you're also a chocolate chip cookie guy. I don't meet many people that don't like chocolate chip cookies, right? They're probably the best as far as overall flavor, but getting the right one, yeah, that's the thing. I like the texture of the oatmeal in a chocolate chip cookie when my mom makes it. So that's an important one. But what we want to do is, rather than eat them on their own, all right, we've got Country Human Japan. Welcome in. How are you? Welcome in. So we cover those and put them at the end of the meal. So we have fiber, fats, and proteins, and we leave that cookie for the end of the meal where it goes. That's going to lower that blood sugar spike. And that's key. That's key right there. When we have it at the beginning, that blood sugar increases because that carbohydrates, the sweets, and everything in that cookie are going to raise those up. And the insulin in your body is going to take that and store it as fat for fuel later. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, except for the fact that we eat all day. If you look at the top part of this chart right up here, we're eating all the time. We're eating too much, like 6 to 11 times a day. That's way too much. We are eating way more than we need to be eating when we're eating 6 to 11 times during the day. Oh, man. Can you tell I'm a little tired this morning? I'm doing good. Laney, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm doing well this morning. I was telling everybody we accepted an offer on our house yesterday. So we are in the process of continuing to move forward. So I'll say my lives will be in a different location in a couple of months. 1st of May, we will be in a cabin in the woods. So it will change dramatically. Well, thank you. It's been very stressful, and it's going to stay stressful for the next 2 months. It stressed my cats out. My poor little kid was very stressed. My old cat, Zoe, who just jumped on the bed, is not. But our little Luna is very stressed. So if y'all could send some good vibes and prayers for Luna, would be wonderful. So this is key. Now, talking about sleep, is making sure that we have our cortisol levels, that those stress things are one of those things that we've got to watch, we've got to be careful about. So we want to be aware of that when we start to think about these signs of insulin resistance. Are we tired all the time? Are we dealing with brain fog? Are we struggling with those things and those stress levels that are causing us to want to nap in the afternoon, right? We're having that crash of our blood sugar levels, and that doesn't matter how old you are. Coffee lover, good morning. How are you? All right, so if you are part of the Japan crew, give me a 1. I'm never sure. This Japan crew keeps growing, so I'm always kind of curious. You guys are great at inviting people, but I would love to hear that. So coffee lover, what is it that you love about coffee? Is it the flavor? Is it a particular coffee that you like? Is it the energy that you get from coffee? All right, country human Japan, yes sir. I figured you were one there. Coffee lover, I just had a feeling. It just cracks me up. Oh my goodness. So welcome in, folks. Welcome in. I'm glad that you all are here. So, and like I said, and I am not, my wife did a sushi bake. My wife loves Japanese food. So I didn't really grow up on the cuisine. So I've been learning about more Japanese cuisine. The cookie lover, oh man, cracking me up. You guys are amazing. So glad that you guys are here. So glad that you all are here and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. The old man loves it. So what is it that maybe's got on you? Snow Dove Bird, you're up in New Jersey. Hey, well, I'm glad we've got a couple of people over in New Jersey, so I'm glad to hear that. I'm always trying to figure out. I've got a crew of friends over in Japan that found my live that are hanging out and inviting everybody. So I'm never sure. And Harvey Harrington, I don't know if Harvey's still on. Harvey's over in the UK. And we've got Valentino down in Mexico. So we've got a number of folks from around. We've got Morocco that's been in here. What we got to do is get some more people in here. Oh, I'm so glad that you subscribed. This is such an important thing. Like I said, as for me, as somebody, I was a youth pastor for 10 years. So this last summer when that's right, Husk, the grumpy cat, is over in Russia, right? This last summer, we got the statistics that 1 in 3 adolescents, so under the age of 18, is now being diagnosed with prediabetes. So that for me is huge, all right? And I can't tell you how much crap I fed my kids in my youth group. I feel bad that we did that all the time, right? So what we've got to do is we've got to get the word out that it doesn't make a difference. Sanji the cook, yes, it doesn't make a difference what your age is. Insulin resistance starts at every age. We have 6-year-olds being diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver. As I said, I was diagnosed in 1980 with childhood rheumatoid arthritis. Again, that right there is a sign of insulin resistance. So learning and understanding how the foods that we eat, anything in a bag, in a box, in a bottle with a barcode, we're dealing with processed foods, and those are made up foods. Those are not foods that are real food. They are fake food. We can eat them. They are studied, but our body doesn't know what to do with them. And that's where the problem is. It's going to find a way to protect itself. That's part of what insulin resistance is. That increased insulin is going to shove it into the cells. Does New York count? Fox Tech. All right, so we got New Jersey and we got New York. Yes, everybody counts. Don't take it as wrong. I'm just curious because this crew from Japan is always. They're cracking me up, just the way they go and invite all their friends, which is awesome, because that's what builds the channel, and that's what makes this so awesome, is being people around the world. I love having people from everywhere. Like I said, for for me though, we got to get some of these. We got to get some of these gray-haired, bald people like me that need to get in here. And I think y'all know my daughter is over in Japan, and she is on one of the military bases as a military spouse. So I'm not sure that I'm going to get to go see her over there, but that's where she's currently. Her husband is stationed. So pretty cool. So what are we talking about? So how are we eating? All right. So that right there, that is probably the biggest thing. How are you exercising? We have got to move. All right. And so I always tell people those two right there, when I say talk to the hand, all right, how are you eating and how are you exercising? That's going to put you on the path to being okay. All right. Just taking a walk after you eat, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, is totally awesome. That's what we got to do. Did you get someone in China yet? No, I haven't had anybody come through from China at this point. Nobody from China yet. It's just one of those things, the way the algorithm throws stuff out, and it's doing its thing. And so the more you guys talk about it, the better off it's going to be. The more we bring people on, that's cool. And here's the thing, I am open to you all kind of giving me some. I appreciate that. I want y'all to be amazing people. I mean, that's really it. And I want this to be a great live where people are encouraged and are learning how to live better lives. So that's what we need, right? We need that in our world. We need that guidance. So what are your extras? So I know we got some coffee lovers. We got some folks. Here's the thing. One of the hardest things to do is to break that issue of the drinks that we have. All those things that are full of sugar and stuff. And I know many of y'all in Japan, tea is a big thing. Over in the UK and different places, I drink one that's called Unimate, because this is from the yerba mate tree. If you're not familiar with it, it's in South America and Brazil. And in particular, it doesn't matter what age. If you are looking for an energy drink, if maybe you're looking for something that is a tea that is going to provide more benefits, well-rounded than anything else, that's what yerba mate does. And this Unimate is in a concentrated form. And this is what we do with our coaching. Unimate helps with triglyceride levels, cholesterol. This is what I say. If you've got folks that you care about that are dealing with any of these things right here, you need to get them on this live so we can talk, and that way expands that conversation. The other thing that we have is we do a fiber. This is the fiber that I have every single day before my meals. And I don't know if y'all know this, but fiber is a key part to battling colon cancer, and colon cancer is one of the number one cancers affecting people today, and particularly the millennial generation. So getting fiber is key. That's why I have it before all my meals. So I get that fiber. That's my extras right there. Those are the two that I do. So the other thing we want to talk about is how are we encouraged? When we learn something, we share that. All right. Every time we learn something new, the more you share it, the more you're going to help people. The more people are going to learn. The more people are going to grow along the way. So that's part of the life journey. So don't stop sharing what you learn on this life journey. The fifth one is, how are you elevating? What are you doing for your spirit? How are you doing your soul and that soul journey? And right now, I started doing this. We're in, if you're a Christian, we are in the season of Lent. All right. And it has nothing to do with what's in your belly button or what's in your dryer. All right. It has to do with this period of reflection within the church. The period of from Ash Wednesday to Easter. And part of that, hey, Prince, good to see you. Welcome back in. Welcome back. So this is very much a period of reflection for me, of going deeper. And I will confess, one of the things that's very aware is I feel like at times I can be a pretty selfish person. I have been and I don't want to be, but I get very self-centered. I don't know about anybody else. I think we all do to a certain degree. Prince, I don't remember if you did say that. I don't know if Harvey's still on. I know that Harvey's in the UK. I don't think you told me that you were in Great Britain at this point. Oh. So, for me, that's kind of a confession right there. Is it's very easy for me to get in my own head and not think about. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, or maybe it doesn't. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. That's a U.S. thing. But how many of y'all ever feel that? Because you've heard me say lately that those 5 questions make you self-reflect a little bit, and self-reflecting can really suck sometimes. Season of Lent is a big part of that, and realizing how selfish that we can be. At least I can be. Anybody need some confession time? Anybody got something that you realize that you need to address in your life? That you're sitting there going, man, yeah, I have something there that isn't quite what it should be. It's a hard thing to do, right? I was sharing, there was a quote the other day, and make sure you guys share those hearts and likes as well, please, if y'all would. Keep letting the algorithm know that people are hanging in here. So if you're coming by, make sure that you give us a thumbs up along the way, and keep that going, so that everything is staying up to speed, and that YouTube knows that folks are hanging out here. All right. Iron Man fan, there's more of my Japan crew. Good to see you this morning. Oh my goodness. Wow. Very Orange Peel, how are you? How are you? Awesome. Good to see you this morning. Alright, what is going on? Oh my. My goodness. Wow. Sorry, I was looking. How do you turd chimper? How do we stay positive in such a dark world? Yeah, man, that is a great question. That is a great question. I'm going to put it out to the group. How do y'all stay? I'm going to share with you mine, but I would love to hear what some other people say. Yeah, and I want to give people that opportunity. I have a belief in God. I will start with that. Now, for some people, that may be a problem, and then just listen and just trust me. I have a faith and I believe in God. I cuddle my dog. That's how. Sylvia, that's a great, absolutely. I can understand that's a good way to do it. That definitely helps with stress some days. I can do the same with my cat. And as I look at that belief and as I have lived my life, it is that there is an overarching focus in the universe. While we make it seems like it's darker, there are so many good things that have happened. I mean, think about this. We can have this conversation, Turd. We're sitting here having a conversation. People all over the world. That's a pretty good thing. That's a pretty cool thing. So there's some things that are arching there that says, hey, you know what? And what Scripture says is, Harvey, you're still here. Awesome. Glad that you're here. For me, there's certain scriptures that just stand out. Now, I don't have the Bible memorized by any stretch of of anything, but what I can say is that God works all things to good to those that love Him. Don't be offended by the scripture. All right, that's part of what the scripture passage is. Gender neutral language is not really in scripture. And I'm glad that you're here, Harvey. I'm really happy that you're here. So holding on to that belief that God is working all things, and when my wife died, my first wife died in 2016. Boy, you talk about really dark. Being diagnosed with diabetes was very dark. A lot of dark things that happened. But being in that relationship with God, of learning to spend time with God, of how communicating with God is a very real thing, and is something that God wants and is inviting us into, is so critically important for each and every single one of us on this life journey. So, I put that out there because to me that's a huge thing. Surrounding yourself with good people. I hope that this room becomes a place of good people, right? I had to get coffee to wake up. No, I totally get it. Changing my practice in the morning and doing water fasting in the morning. Oh my gosh, rather than Unimate, which that's hard because the Unimate has theobromine and the caffeine that, so no, I totally get it. This is why I'm yawning a lot. So surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with those that bring you joy, like my cat Luna and my cat Zoe. Let's see if I can get Zoe on here. She's not paying attention. Hold on a second. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to go rear camera. So I'll show you. There's my Zoe. There. She's going to come say hello. Meow. So there's one that helped me right there. Right? So, oh. Hold on. So yeah, just like the dog right there, is one that will help. Sometimes it's our cats that help. Sorry about that. Zoe let us know that and it's important, is to surround us with those that and the people that bring us joy. So, Turd, how did that help? It's going to be a consistent thing. It's not just a one and done. It's like an everyday thing that we have to do. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't move forward. I'm a dog person. I like them cats. Yeah, I have dogs too. I have 2 dogs. So interesting. There was, I don't know if y'all know this, but the term breakfast, this is a part of nutrition team, and I'm responding to somebody. Breakfast means break fast. Now that seems kind of logical, right? But here's the thing: breakfast as a meal was something that was invented as a marketing tool by Kellogg's and Post Cereal to sell cereal. That's all it was. That's all it was. If you're going to have a breakfast, get something that's savory. And so I'm responding to somebody that trying to yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And the thing is when we focus on fiber, it slows down digestion. Protein and fats help us feel full longer. So if you have a breakfast, a savory breakfast is the kind of breakfast you need to have. So that's important, is to always make sure that that breakfast is focused in that. So And people talk about intermittent fasting and not realizing that when we are intermittent fasting, your body taps into your fat stores and it releases the carbs that are in our fat stores to be used for fuel. So people worry about that, and they don't have to be. Ooh, I'm looking at the time. Don't want to get myself too far along the way. Awesome. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm looking at the time. I've been on for an hour, so I think I'm getting about to where I'm on at 5 o'clock, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time. Thinking that's going to become my time. So if y'all want to put that in there, and make sure you're inviting people to be a part of the live. Bring people in. We got to get more people in here, grow the channel. So thank y'all so much for being here. Go get the day. Make it golden. Go be excellent to yourself, and go be excellent to one another. I'm sorry if I kind of got distracted here at the end. I had some folks to respond to. But I hope you guys have an awesome one. I hope this was an encouraging one to do. I'm always going to be talking about nutrition. I want you guys to be healthy. I want you to be thinking about this. I want my life to be the healthiest life in here, right? So don't hesitate and throw things out at me. Don't, come in here. Let's keep the conversation going. All right. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you around on the flip side.